Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to put this down here for everything. Maybe have a little bit of a beveraging refreshment, shall we say, here in a minute. Celebrating the processes that are in place over power in this country. Not saying transitions, not saying anything else, just the processes that exist in our country for coming up to the fairest, greatest of the world's situations. Just insane how the freedom of the press may truly be just for the populist people. One of the things that I remembered, and everyone said I was crazy, and this one globe in our house disappeared. And I think it said national, no, it didn't. It said Democratic Republic of the United States of America. I plan to do something here very quickly, answer every single one of them, maybe tonight, because they said we're not leaving until 8 in the morning on vacation. But I'm probably going to try and see if I can, people all say it's liquid courage or something else like that, put together enough, whatever it is, go through and do 3 major ones here, and then go over to my comedy channel. Got to do something. And kick back and cut loose, as it is. And with everything all said and done, when President Trump was elected, I remembered vaguely President Obama, like he just said this all the time. The Democratic Republic of the United States of America. We are a proud democracy. When the Republicans got in, I'm saying if it's branding, maybe they just said the Republic, long live the Republic, everything else like that, all of it. People do have an overwhelming thing towards Mussolini. Somewhere in the populous area, the United States has awoken, knowing that, in a way, yes, Japan got pulled along with the Axis powers. What would have happened if it never did? Never know. People make all sorts of scenarios. There's lots of people spaced in and out in all the different countries that supported the Axis powers. We fought wars because of numerous people smuggling weapons into Vietnam from Mussolini. We had a document that said that we would protect the entire world, the Monroe Doctrine, basically, from the spread of fascism and the things that this country was initially founded on, and keeping out forms of radicalized Christianity, enslavement Christianity, and everything else over it. And even fought the Korean War, mostly based off of hidden out scientist groups that somehow took over everything else, pushed others along. And I'd even say that they've gone out there, and I have put it in the Library of Congress and was on record as it, unless they took the classified black pen to it, and said, I do believe where they had this nuclear test was an underground facility that was still in holdout from the time of the Axis powers and was growing itself like a terrarium. And I know one guy who was there who was a very young, up-and-coming, brilliant scientist that they brought over here from the Japanese theater. In saying all that, and how it comes back and one says, long live the Republic, and how people from California say we're in a constitutional democracy. I do plan to address all that, and I will even address why I'm moving away from the, quote, Nazi interpretations of the Constitution, and plan on doing some other things out there. I do know that there's a guy around here. He does the Golden Cowboy. He lives, it's like Appalachia Intelligence. Lives somewhere close by because I know we all have the same cookie cutter house. And it's like, it looks exactly the same, made the same. And welcome to all of that. But I will go out there and put it on with everything. And I know that Trump and them are big Star Wars guys. So I'm sure that in a way, since everybody says paranoid delusions, my comedy channel is basically like, well, they all say I have multiple personalities because I have so many dynamic intelligence. So just play along with it and go with it. And in and of this, going back to other things that I started off with, Fox News, and accepting that from their perspective, whatever it is, just saying their perspective, it seems like they're saying Joe Biden will be the new president and everything else. And I'm not saying it's not right to have vote accounts or anything. It's saying, or re-voting lookups. Not re-voting, but looking up the ballots and everything. They said we live in a constitutional democracy, where they have been going since, at Obama at the end of it, a Democratic Republic. And they seem pretty happy. And then someone like, yeah, we don't really like Trump. And then it's like, no, we live in a republic. And just overnight, the mentioning of Big Joe Manchin in the morning, and all the morning crews up to noon. And I didn't catch the noon stuff. I'm real sorry about that. And there's a couple of things out there on CNN that I caught it's really wordy, but you would have to watch them, and I'm just going, they're very body language and everything else. And just absolutely like, I don't know, it's like they sit back from the camera. I'm not really sure. It's like, you have to understand how serious I am. And then it's just like, it's just so absolutely, I don't know how else to explain it other than that. There's a little bit of them over at CNN. It's like, I need to grab the camera and pull you to me and understand that, and a couple of them I'm just like, they bash Ivy Leaguers like Trump does. And you would think these guys would be best friends, but, it doesn't happen. You would think that they would get along somehow, but, it don't happen. Anyway, on the Tucker Carlson, who kind of like leads off everything out through there, and he said, we do live in a constitutional republic. A constitutional democracy, like the guy in California says. That's the professor, and it's like, these guys must be the best of enemies, in a way, because I can just see the new headbutting here and everything else. So it's like, I'm going, it's really changing from CNN over to like the Tucker Carlson era, and everybody after Tucker that night here, like one or two back or something. And, he's kind of like, okay, and here, and it's like, okay, I got sent to school because, I even got the whiteboard behind me. It was interesting seeing what they were doing. And I have to say, I will be explaining that. And everything else, even bringing the truth to people, I'm a little worried. Even if it's like, and I know they always blame me. And it's like, I guess I should have said, no, I'm not a Nazi, but this is basically what it is around here. And if the point of life is to argue a point so that whatever it is, the surviving point can be sharpened, and I do believe that two people can sharpen their own swords with each other. I'm just saying, in and of itself, it is very strange with all the news that I've seen, and I know everybody's going to be like, put up the clips, put up where they've said it, and everything. There is only so much, and only one certain type of news that people are going to see. There is such a thing as controlling what is going to be seen for the public. I know there's only so much they can squeeze in to basically 45 minutes with commercials for an hour-long newscast. So they have to pick and choose what they can do. But under this, from basically the last 16 months of Obama, I remember and see how it's all of a sudden it's like, in a way, someone's saying you need to look at this. This is really important, and we need the nation to know this. This is really important. I just really don't think that this is where the nation needs to go to, and you need to take a look at this. This is policy. This is how it is. Maybe it's one step in between there, because I know that, I'm looking at it going, there could be a lot of steps in between there, but it's seeming like they've stepped 2 or 3 more, too many times. Concerns, I guess I should say, with this. I know this one's very rambling, but there's been some things that have been coming up here with the new class of people at Oak Ridge, and how they've been screaming that they're children and they can't be prosecuted or have anything said about them. That I am looking at it in a very serious light here. Am I scared off of something? By any means, no. Do I think I need to be more cunning and cautious? And maybe not go with the old style of rambling and stuff and trying to get as much information in as possible? Because it's like information overload? Possibly. Do I necessarily need to be tight and to the point? I think it's more like this. In this new age of politics, and I hate using the gun reference here because I know Vieto or something else is going to be around. Instead of rambling and trying to go over here, and, grab something and throw out a huge net that somehow will not catch me and goes all the way around me, drag it in and say, look at all the stuff here, and it's like sensory overload. I'm thinking there does need to be a certain situation to where you're shooting in a defined direction with whatever you've got for gathering, hunting, or fishing. And instead of using a rifle or a spear gun, it's probably best to shoot at a very open choke shotgun, if you know what that is, situation, and not at any type of defined target of normal speaking. Just take out some bag of trash and shoot at that. And if you have something very defined set up, it stays over there and go, look, this one didn't even get a scratch on it. Look at exactly where I hit that, and yeah, it was a little bit all around that bag of trash. But I guess it's the essence of the new normal with freedom of the press. If you can say it's being reverted to the populace only. Generally, in those cases, it does lead to civil war. Because the hierarchy is not capable of holding together such a broad situation.